Hey everybody, Gunnison Undercover here. Today is Tuesday, September 24th, 2019. Time is 1:48 Eastern Daylight Savings Time. We're still in that Daylight Savings Time. Nothing has changed yet, but it will soon. I am down here at the waterfront in Union Beach, New Jersey. If you follow Hurricane Sandy, you would have seen some of the pictures from Union Beach, New Jersey. And it's kind of like in the low 70s right now, a little breeze in the air, so pardon the wind noise in the background. That's just the way it's going to be. So we have an update on the lawsuit that's going on between me and Long Branch, New Jersey, the police department, the city of. Just to recap a few things, we had filed a complaint and the defendants had filed a motion to have it heard in federal court instead of state court. They were granted that motion. Once upon receiving that, we sent them a letter offering to settle this quickly, and they did respond back to me, and they also did an answer to the complaint we made. So I'm going to read you what their offer is, and here's the letter right here. Between all the wind, there's the letter. And the letter says, Mr. Gunnison, as you are aware, this law firm represents the defendant, City of Long Branch, Chief Jason Roebuck. Please accept this correspondence that the city's formal response to your letter dated September 3rd, 2019, regarding your settlement demands. Without prejudice to the rights of either party, the city will agree to the following terms of settlement of the above entitled matter. Now, I want you to pay very close attention to this first offer and remember it. The city, number one, the city will grant you access to the police department's official Facebook page. Remember that statement. Number two, the city will provide you with a copy of its policies as requested. And three, the city will agree to reimburse you only for your court costs, provided that you submit proof of same. And they request that we do this within 10 days. So let me just say something here with this number one that I talked about. This number one, where they say the city will grant you access to the police department's official Facebook page, is their own admittance that I am blocked on their Facebook page. That's right. Number two, the city will provide you a copy of its policies as requested. Well, we did request a copy of the policies a while back when I did my open request, and they claimed they didn't have one, or they didn't provide it for me. Now, with the answer that they made to the complaint, we have the one and only Matt Tim, who's going to come over here, and he's going to talk about their answer to the complaint and some of the mistakes and downsides of what's going on, and take it over, Matt Timmy.
Thank you, Mr. Gunnison. When I first read a copy of the City of Long Branch's answer, filed by one Brian Trelease of renowned Coughlin Mancello in Island on behalf of the City of Long Branch, I wasn't flabbergasted, but I was a little bit taken aback by how sloppily done it was. It was fraught with the types of errors that you would expect from a first or second year associate. It really didn't have the type of craftsmanship that I felt a case like this deserves. And to roughly go through their answer with you, they're trying to essentially deny that our allegations against their unknown webmaster, the police department employee responsible for the page, does not implicate liability on their behalf. From where I'm sitting, that's a crock, okay? We're suing the City of Long Branch as a whole. Any employee that they have that operates on their behalf creates liability for them. They're claiming that they're not liable for the unknown webmaster, and they have not identified that individual. Now, this is where the feet start to meet the fire in their answer. They're denying that they have any knowledge or information about the Oprah request that Mr. Gunnison over here filed and the response that their city clerk gave him, which clearly shows that Mr. Gunnison and 13 other people have been blocked from posting on Long Branch Police Department's Facebook page. You can't deny something, folks, that they have knowledge of because they created the document trail. You simply cannot do it, and yet they're trying to say that we don't have sufficient knowledge to answer your complaint. The whole thing is fraught with errors like this, and you can tell towards the end of the complaint where they assert their 30 affirmative defenses that this wasn't carefully drafted. They just took the template, they put it all together, and they filed it. And as it stands right now, there's a status conference that's set in the next month and a half. And I highly suspect that Mr.Gunnison's probably going to either want to file motions to rectify their somewhat invalid complaint, their defective complaint, or he's going to make another offer of settlement. But to have them simply try and push us away and say, okay, well, we're gonna give you guys access to the Facebook page, but any First Amendment damage that you've suffered up to this point isn't compensable. Well, that simply won't do. What do you think, Mr. Gunnison?
Well, I think, as you said, they're full of it. They have full knowledge that they blocked me on that Facebook page. To their own admission, they don't keep a record of who they why they block people. Through their own admission, through the OPA request, they admitted that they didn't have any. They didn't have no names. We asked for this OPA request. They didn't have no names. They did, however, provide us with a copy of their block list, and there I am on the block list.
And who provided a copy of that? Their city clerk.
Their city
agent.
clerk. And by their own offer settlement here, that they're going to grant me access back to the Facebook page. So they're admitting more than one time that in a paper trail that I am blocked from their Facebook page. Now fine, I'm blocked. Well, the question is, why was I blocked? Well, they can't provide that information.
They can't provide that information, but yet they can say 5 times in here that they followed the law.
They claim they followed the law. Now, if I see, I don't cuss, swear, call names or anything like that. I may say things that they don't like to hear, but that's part of being an American, which is to call out your government on things that they do.
Unpopular speech doesn't equate to illegal
right,
speech.
Exactly. And as we all know, and I've been saying, and Matt's been saying, that these governments, particularly the police departments, are trying to control the narrative on their Facebook page, because the first time in America, we now have a public forum that's readily accessible for us to address our government. Now, the police departments use these Facebook pages to announce things. They use it for their propaganda, and we have the immediate availability to go on there and respond to it. And when they get somebody on there like me or Matt Tim or anybody else that says something that they don't like or continues to say things that they don't like, they block you. And that's the case here with me, that I was blocked. We gave them ample opportunity to correct the problem. Ample opportunity to correct it. Made videos about it.
What they're doing, folks, is on par to if you show up to a council meeting and start making unpopular comments.
They're going to turn your mic off.
They muzzle you.
Right,
That's what
exactly.
they're doing.
So, again, we've given them ample opportunity to correct the problem without going through the lawsuit and all that.
Right.
Their attitude, the arrogant attitude, they don't care, they ignore you, you're just a troublemaker. Well, maybe I am a troublemaker. That's what America was built on. America was built by troublemakers. So now we've got to the point where we filed this lawsuit, and now it's ramping up. They want to take it out to federal court. Fine, we'll go to federal court. It's not costing me hardly anything to do this.
And
so,
if anything, it's going to be advantageous for him that it's going to be heard in federal court, because here's what's going to happen. You're going to have a federal judiciary hearing this case and applying the First Amendment that's not under the control of state politicians like Craig Coughlin, their boss and the Assembly Speaker. You're going to have an independent federal judiciary which is going to take the violation of Mr. Gunnison's First Amendment rights very seriously. This is not a laughing matter or a peripheral matter. This case is not a joke. This case says that if they can do to him, if they can do to all of you what they did to him, this country's in for some serious trouble.
It's all about eroding our First Amendment right to free speech, and it's the government, it's the police. The police represent the government. They are the long arm of the government, the strong arm of the government. And It's going to stop, okay? Now, as far as Long Branch thinking that they can just say, oh, we'll put you back on there, and all of a sudden we magically pulled this policy out of our asses, which is what they're basically saying, because a couple months ago they claimed they didn't have one. So now they pulled it out of the ass because they know they screwed up, and they think that all I should do is accept court fees?
Without any form of compensation?
That's not happening, Long Branch.
And I wanted to touch on the fact that as time goes on and Facebook becomes more of a common place for local governments to affect their business and their communications on, the law, while scant, is developing as to what local governments can do on Facebook and what they can't do. There's already been 3 or 4 lawsuits that were promulgated on government social media pages.
Right, there was one out in Hawaii, and I believe there's an award settlement of $30,000 because they blocked somebody.
Yeah.
So I would say this to Long Branch. You had an opportunity to do this amicably. You didn't want to do it. So you called my bluff. Well, guess what? You got the papers. Right, you got the papers in the mail. Now you think that you can just let me back on there and I should walk away? Well, let me say this to everybody out there in Long Branch, taxpayers, okay? Your government has already cost you probably about $10,000. And it's going to continue to go up because of these government officials who think they can just do what they want and then insult me by saying, all right, we'll do for you what you asked us to do back when you weren't trying to sue us. Well, it doesn't work that way, Long Branch. Finish it up, Matt.
I'm going to make an educated prediction here. I'm glad that you touched on it. You touched on something very, very valuable. Right now, they've caught this lawsuit has cost Long Branch taxpayers approximately $10,000.
In and around that amount, $10,000.
Yes.
They had to file
File an answer.
An answer, and then
serve it. They've removed the case to federal court. These are not things that their attorney's doing for free.
Right. I know that they paid already $400. They have it transferred over to federal court.
So right now, I concur that it's up to $10,000. I'm going to make another prediction, folks. Right now, today's September 24th. If this lawsuit is prolonged, or it lives on, until January 1st of this year, this lawsuit's going to have cost Long Branch taxpayers almost $20,000 to $30,000 simply because their local government couldn't do the right thing.
And if we file that motion that we're talking about filing,
forget about it.
Forget about it. The settlement offer that I will offer to them will certainly be a lot less than that.
Exactly, because we file a motion. They're going to have to respond to it. They're going to have to show up for oral argument. This is going to cost Long Branch taxpayers an insane amount of money simply because their local government officials couldn't do the right thing. They couldn't follow the law.
All right, I'm going to finish it up with this. If you go to, say you go to Long Branch and you break one of their ordinance laws or one of the state statute or something, and they give you a ticket, it costs you money, right? So is that any different so that when Long Branch does something to a citizen, that they should not be held responsible? I think so, and I think they should be fined just like anybody else that goes into town and breaks the law.
It takes 2 to tango.
That's right. I mean, this is not a one-way street, and you know, Long Branch really is the taxpayers, but it's these bureaucrats that run it. It's the bureaucrats that cause the problems, and it always seems to be the taxpayers that pay the price. But I can't walk away with just, oh, okay, gee, we'll let you back on there and we'll come up with a policy. There's not even an apology on the thing. There's no, gee, Mr. Gunnison, we're sorry. Accept our apologies. They don't even do that. They won't admit nothing. This is Gunnison Undercover. Until next time, folks, you know who that guy there is.
Second half of the Not So Dream Team.
We'll catch you
we may become the Dream Team.
Right. We'll keep you updated on any developments.